All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here to close out the week here this Friday, March 25th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Great to see Brad, Norman, Gene, Chad. We have Bobby, Marie, we have Nina as well, and Donnie joining us live inside the cyber group room. Great to see a lot of us doing pretty nicely, actually. Not on this NEXT trade. If anyone's in it, hey, let me know. But a bunch of us were in and out just recently on Tilray, TLRY. So we're going to talk about that stock coming up in just a bit. Great to see Kiwi joining us here in this live trading room. Gary, Norman, Gene, Nina as well included. And hey, if you're rejoining us on social media, Facebook Live or YouTube, same to be said. Welcome on back. So, folks, let's get to it. Next on the stock or on the screen to begin, easily enough, just goes right on the watch list, right? Right at the highs. It's grinding on up here a little bit, which to be honest, like the grind on up, hey, I mean, for some folks, they actually like to see it. It's on a steady trend. That's not bad. In fact, that's great. But I want a little more, oomph on this trade heading into the final hour, at least from 3 to 4 p.m. We got to see it move faster than this. The volume has been kind of waning down slowly and slowly during this consolidation. We had a big volume spike prior to 2 o'clock Eastern, and you can see it died off right from there. But I'm even talking about the smaller little bursts of buying that we're seeing. Even since 220, we're seeing less buying coming across those tinier bursts. So, just be on the lookout for a big shake at least here from this point. Perhaps it pulls back down closer to 6 before it continues pushing up. But, we'll put this on our watch list right away to start the NEXT trade. Norman says it's a little choppy. I would agree. I mean, a little steady off the lows, but for what we like to typically trade inside the cyber group room, you want something even a little bit more volatile. But hey, it's already been pretty volatile for us earlier this late morning, early afternoon. So just expect the pullback after a certain point in time, right? Now, what we'll just do otherwise, folks, is go right from top to bottom. The Tilray trade we will talk about, as that is like number, like 12 or 13 on the gainers. It's still up like 17 near 18%. But, we'll start right from the top. This new SPAC IPO, special purpose acquisition, FRGE, ended up, I guess, getting listed on the New York Stock Exchange back from Tuesday this week, but ended up making a nice push once again today. Kind of low volume at first, but then it really took off where it ended up getting halted. Got halted a few times, but the second halt, you could see it there right off of like 22. Was it like 23.01 the high? So when a stock gets halted over and over and over in one direction, especially here up, you typically expect a down halt coming. It's coming at some point. So it's definitely more of a gamble than it is like a calculated trade based off strategy. So, just with that said, it ended up completely folding right back down to 17 bucks or even 16. Grinding on up again, like the other one was just before the next trade. But if we're comparing apples to oranges here between next and the FRGE little move up so far across the afternoon, I mean, both are within good price range, but the NEXT trade just has the perfect order book for right now. Very liquid. You could see it pretty easy to see iceberg on the bid. I don't know if that just popped up or if that was there over the last few minutes, but at 6:45, about 16,000 popping in and out on the bid here. So it's just easier to follow. You know what I mean? So hey, FRGE. I'm not as keen to put it on our watch list. We're nearing the end of the month, end of the week, obviously here with today being Friday. Ooh, nice push on Clover here. Clever leaves company. I don't know what the company does, but ended up making a nice little push here just now. Finally, about time, honestly. I mean, this stock was extremely choppy throughout the morning. Ended up making for a nice little slingshot at first off of 190, but from there fell back down. So we typically kind of move away from a stock like this, but it's proving itself out to be a nice little trade here over the last 30 or so minutes. Just dropped down to 2, held above it, but then pushed right back on up from there. So ended up making a nice little push up towards that 230 area, about a 62,000 share order on the ask right now, you could see on the trade station matrix. And then otherwise, it's got a lot of volume for it to break through, but it is pretty close to the regular session highs. Let me peel this back at least a bit to show the pre-market. It's got definitely some more to work off of from pre-market trading this morning. So actually, I don't know if I ended up charting this stock on my other screen here. I didn't. I would tell you some levels to follow on this trade based off what I charted from pre-market, but you know what? I got a little time here. How about this? I got a 3 p.m. coaching with one of our students, George, but you know what? We'll make sure that we get there timely. But for right now, at least, I'll show you the levels on Clever, I should say. I'm going to mix that up probably throughout this audio broadcast, but looks like this had some pre-market resistance early off of, namely 250, about 36,000 on the ask there. And even if it does break up over 250, be on the lookout for 255. That could be like a bit of a false break type of play where it breaks over 50, hits 55, and then shakes. But yeah, I'd say that looks pretty interesting. Then otherwise, 220 was a big support, big resistance at least from pre-market. There was no real buying interest, off of 220 though. So that I think, in my opinion here, a quick guess, perhaps otherwise, but I think that's why it's taking so long for it to break higher. We're seeing a bit of an accumulation process here, perhaps right above that 220. But we'll see if it could end up breaking over this 68, now 71 plus thousand share order that you could see here on the right hand side here at 230. All right, CLVR. We'll put this on our list. See what else we got here. Next, we already talked about the CRXT trade. This one's been a bit of a high flyer the last day and a half. And then even just from perhaps early this week, that was what, just from Monday this week, ended up making a big pop from 80 cents up close to 2, and then now making the higher highs. So from this morning, the stock ended up doing really nicely. I mean, pretty much right out the gate, but it built up a lot more volume as it ended up breaking higher going into 11 o'clock. So from there, you could see at least off the break of the new high from 170-ish, 165, 170 here. From there, it ended up running up pretty nicely. But, this is something that we teach so much here at Cyber Trading University, whether it be just like a basic introductory webinar or whether it's through one of our, detailed classes. It's a matter of saying for as much as this stock goes up and up and up, you got to expect for a false breakout. When does it begin to pull back? And the question is not when, as I always teach, it's where. That's the way I teach it, at least, right? It's not when, but where. And that where is very often, based off of a big volume level. So with that, this ended up making the false break essentially right from 2. So, there was likely a big iceberg right on the ask at 2 acting as resistance from there. The first time it tested it, a false break, and you could just see the volume waning down from that point. And from that point, well, so did CRXT. Ended up just dropping right back down from there. And well, let me just jump right back to Clever, CLVR, because right now, look at that. Just broke over that iceberg order at 230. Let's see if this trade can keep going though. But this is where we need to be picky. I mean, this was already on our list, but just wanted to show you this. I had this on my other monitor as I was kind of just going through. All right, let's keep it going though. Otherwise, Rev B, oof, come on down. Look at this thing here, make a nice push for us. I had no idea this was running, so I did not have this up on my other screen. Ended up making a really good push just now from 250, and it's approaching the highs that we had from Wednesday this week off 288. Looks good. I don't have bookmap up for this one, but just right away we'll toss this on the list. Looks great. All right, do we get to it? We get to it. Tilray. Man, I had a tough morning. I'll tell you. I mean, just between my platform freezing up on me, actually, to me just getting chopped up on a couple of trades after they made their primary move, and I already missed that move, and I wanted more, but I got chopped up. So I didn't have the best morning. Very similar to yesterday, which is kind of surprising. But with Tilray, I ended up catching the bounce right from the 750 level, right here off the break. From there, ran it up over 8. Left some money on the table from that point, but I ended up jumping in recently again before we started the meeting off of 793. Just I'll be transparent. I did not say the price 793 in the main chat board. That was a pre-market level that I set up. It was actually based off of a 73,000 share print that got filled in the after hours yesterday, I believe. But I was chatting to one of our students, Donnie, just earlier throughout the day. He chatted me. He just asked, "Hey, are you long on Tilray?" You ask, I'll tell you. I said, "Si, senor." I said, from 750 though. This was when I was in from 750, and I said to him at the time that hey, 790 is the liftoff level, and I corrected myself from there. But I said 793. Let me show you the chart that I had lined up, and I still have charted here from my pre-market analysis. I sent this over to Donnie earlier through private chat, but the green line 793 right there. That's where we ended up seeing from the after hours yesterday. I think it was like a 73,000 share print that got filled. So as part of my pre-market preparation on this trade, I lined up that level. It's all about asking, what happens if history repeats itself? We talk about this every, 7 days in traders talk. We talk about this every month in class, right? We just talked about it just this week in phase one. Well, we'll keep asking that same question as we transition into phase two next week. But, it's to be said though, what happens if this could break back over 793? What happens if we have more buying off that price? So it wasn't for a perfect trade right out the gate, a little shake at first, but ended up making for a really good sling right now. And, why I'm so adamant about this trade and the other pot stocks too, mind you. I know that John was talking about the pot stocks just a moment ago in the chat board. History has a tendency to repeat itself, right? Even if it's on a fractional level, right? I always say this here in this meeting. For a stock like Tilray that from the beginning of last year ran from 8 or 10 bucks up to 60, why can't this stock make a fraction of the type of run it made back then? And for anyone new to Cyber Trading University or this afternoon meeting or the morning meetings that Fausto does on YouTube as well, we ended up trading Tilray off its IPO back in September of 18. These moves that take off that you see, you remember them like the back of your hand. So I'll always jump back to this monthly chart for Tilray. When we ended up trading this Tilray back in 2018, ran from 60 bucks up to 300 plus, right? So with that, what happens if history repeats itself? Well, it did here on a fractional level. So the same could easily be said here heading into the close and heading into next week even. So we'll see what happens over the next 75 minutes. We still have a lot of time. This may dump off. I hope it doesn't for my trade's sake. But yeah, Tilray will definitely put on the watch list. Hopefully this can make a close run up to 10 even. That would be incredible. I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for that though. But with that, CGC, it's up 9+% right now. Hasn't broken the new high though, like Tilray has. So that's where I say Tilray seems to be one of the stronger pot stocks of them, if not the strongest. James calling out the SNDL sundial, and this is a great one to follow too. Typically I'm not as keen to follow the stocks below $1, but honestly, this is the exception. This stock in particular is basically a meme stock. Ended up running back in the beginning of last year when AMC and GameStop took off, actually. So we're pretty familiar with this. Doesn't hurt us to put this on the watch list. Aurora Cannabis, ACB as well. They're all kind of making like a nice like move up. Tilray definitely the best. So I'll kind of just label all of them as the pot stocks. I guess at this point, I'll kind of just tag them all together there. But I'm going to hold on to Tilray for right now. I mean, especially if it's holding right over 829. Actually, a moment ago, if I could just jump back to Tilray for a bit, I want to show level 4 briefly. So here, we ended up seeing over 320,000 shares at one point posted on the ask exactly at 829. Well, it wasn't long before it ran up there and actually broke over that big seller. We ended up seeing a bunch of prints filled right off that price, totaling up at least to 277. So, what happens if history repeats itself? You tell me. So, it re-broke over 829. History repeated itself. Liftoff, hopefully. So, so long as this holds over 829, I don't see a reason to get out. Uh-oh. My platform's actually locking up on me right now. Believe it or not, you've got to be freaking kidding me here. Oh man, I could just tell. You can see the chart going up pretty nicely. I might have to close down Bookmap and just have everything kind of refresh naturally. All right, I should be good in the coming seconds here, folks. My apologies on that. Now, in the meantime, before I even jump over to the losers list here, we still have a lot more to go through on the gainers side. But let me just ask this and get this out the way. There we go. We're unfrozen. But are there any stocks that you would want me to check out at least, just as we continue to go through? All right, we're good. We're unfrozen. The Jobby trade pretty flat from earlier today. Let me know if there's any stocks, folks, that you would want me to look at up, down, left, right, more than 5%. I'll ask right now. The rig trade, RIG, nice move here from this early afternoon. This definitely goes on the watch list right away. More of a level 1 or level 2 type of play here, but approaching a big resistance right now in its own right. Actually, let me move away from this trade. So, if this order gets filled, it doesn't freeze me up. That's some quick thinking there. Hook right now as we continue to go, kind of pulled back. It looked good until it didn't. But nice move from earlier today. We ended up trading the stock back in the beginning of the year, back in mid-Feb, just over a month ago. But hey, this could be a good sideless stock for next week. The Tell trade from John. So Tell, I think that did we talk about this yet? I don't think, maybe did we skip over it? Maybe we just didn't get to it. But yeah, Tell right away at the highs, more of a level 1 or level 2 type of trade, similar to the RIG. So looking really good. Yeah, to Tell goes right on our list here too. PIK, not so much. Made a lower high, actually. Perfect lower high, rounded top off the 580, 585 area and tanked. All right. As we continue to go through the gainer side to wrap up, not much that looks like a familiar name. Tilray on the way to 850. We are looking really good now. I'm like actually pretty excited. I got to finish up this meeting fast, folks. I want to make sure I don't waste a lot of the profit that I have on this trade. Kind of like I did on AMC. I still closed out nicely. That was back on Wednesday, but man, I wasted like 50 cents profit on that. I made 50. I lost 50 cents worth of unrealized gains though on that. Let's see what we have on the losers list though here first. The H and NST, not doing much. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna close out half my Tilray trade here right around 865. I see about like a smaller iceberg for about 28,000 on the S there. I'm gonna close out half my position if it hits there. All right, I'll tell you what, folks. There's not much on the loser side here that looks too tempting. Canon, I didn't know Canon was down 11%, so wanted to look at this quick, but chart's like flat here, so gonna pass. IQ, tradable, shortable. Again, though, pretty slow. Don't really have a need to put this on our list here for right now. All right, folks. Let me know if there's anything else here. The STNE. Oh, I didn't see this. Oh yeah, this looks really good as a short, obviously. But it's approaching a big iceberg order right now. About 17,000 shares on the bid off 1237. From there, actually another one off 1230. But otherwise looks like a great short based off the chart. So yeah, bit of an oversight by me there. CRK from Bob. It's up 9%. It's at the highs, and it's like running over the last few days. This thing's been a hell of a trade. Wow, I haven't even focused on this as much. Maybe we focused on this back a couple days ago. I don't know if This kind of looks a little familiar now at this point. Looking at the monthly chart, seeing the consolidation it's had over the last like several years. But yeah, it looks actually really strong. I like this. Good call. From Cliff, the IMPP might sneak back up. It was trying to a little dip back down there. Hey, I like the IMPP trade. I like calling it out when it's looking better, but that means from this morning, from the late morning. I know Rich at least had called it out as it made the quick little move up at first. Hey, if it ends up showing more signs of life, I would love to focus on it, but we'll pass on it here. From Norman, the SWN. It's going. It's making a nice little move, a little slow, similar to the RIG and the Tell trades. But if I put those on the list, I feel kind of obligated to put this on here too. SWN. I feel like they're all kind of moving the same here. Energy stocks. Charles with the ALLG. That's definitely not a slow stock. Little bit of a pop here, but not fully believing it just yet. I feel like this could be like a pop, then a really fast drop back down. If you're in it already, I hope I'm wrong, certainly, but it's got a paper thin order book. It's more of a gamble than anything here. PAGS is a short from John. It looks good. It's trading not a whole lot of volume per minute, about like 5, maybe 6,000 shares on average. And if it wanes down, that'll be a lot less. But in terms of a stock at the lows that's shortable, that's down enough, normally I would say, yes, this would look good. But It's, just trading kind of thin volume. Well, it's a Friday. The SNDL is a pot stock, so I'm kind of labeling all the pot stocks together there. So that one looks good. We'll kind of focus on that a bit for right now. All right, how about this? Two pieces of housekeeping before we finish. First, for anyone looking about Bitcoin, we're in good position, folks. I mean, from last week, 7 days ago, I showed you a leveraged position I ended up taking that I'm still in from 39,700 and change, 39,717, I believe is the price. Where are we at right now? Like 44 and change right now. So, the initial prediction I gave you on this was if the stars were to align, that we would see Bitcoin make a move closer to 48, 49. So that's definitely still like there for the taking, but I'm going to manage it level by level. But, first piece of housekeeping, folks, we're not going to really do much Bitcoin aside from what I just mentioned there. I'll do a full Bitcoin analysis video that we will look to post over the weekend. I have my hand up here as I say this. You have my word. I'll have that out by Sunday. So that's the first piece of housekeeping. Actually, on top of that, perhaps this will happen on top. And certainly in the near future, this will be happening, if not beginning this weekend even. But be on the lookout for all of us on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, do yourself a favor. Just subscribe. That's all we're asking here for right now. Just go right to youtube.com/cybertradingyou. But in the near future, if not beginning this weekend, I'm going to jump on and do a live stream. Just toss a Bitcoin chart up there. It'll be more of just a collective chat, not audio, not webcam, any of that. But it would be more of like a random live stream for a couple of hours, just showing a Bitcoin chart or any other chart that you would want me to look at. Maybe Ethereum, Cardano, that's been running back up really nicely again. But first, just go subscribe on our YouTube channel, just so you have the alerts ready, so you know when we're going to be doing that. So there's a great chance that will happen this weekend as well at some point, but otherwise definitely in the near future we're gonna probably toss that up. All right, folks, we are good to go. Otherwise, for all of us live inside the trading room, just allow me a couple of minutes. I'll post and tweet the picks out. For all of us in social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, I'm going to post my email address here at the end, as I always do. Enjoy the weekend, otherwise. But any questions, thoughts, comments, suggestions, feel more than free to send on over my way. Any questions about crypto? Otherwise, if we're doing the stream, I look forward to seeing you there. But otherwise, any questions that you may have, feel more than free to send on over to Josh at C2 Trading. All right, for Nina, Yehuda, John, Norman, Charles, we have Brent joining us here later, all of us. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you coming up right at 3:30. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it